So guys, this is going to be the second time attempting to record this video. Audra is way too emotional to be able to record, so I'll spearhead it for us. We are doing okay, guys. We are doing very, very well. She's emotional because a lot of our friends are still currently going through this catastrophe that we're going through with this hurricane. There's going to be two parts to this video. This will be part one. So let's get into it. Hey guys, what's going on? Will here, Flawless Crested Geckos, coming to you guys with another video. This video is not going to be as upbeat as normal. We are extremely exhausted, guys. Extremely exhausted, physically and mentally and emotionally exhausted. Audra, she's so hysterical she can't even get on camera. She feels that way because her emotions is for our friends and loved ones that's still going through this as you guys are watching this video. Hurricane Helene hit us here in Spartanburg, South Carolina. A lot of our friends and loved ones actually got it a lot worse than we did. So this is not actually a cry for help for us, but we do ask for your prayers for all our friends that's still currently going through it. I myself, nor Audra, has ever experienced anything quite like this. We were not prepared for something so catastrophic. Literally, we didn't even know or expect this to happen. So it was definitely an error on our part, not knowing the severity of this storm. Literally, we didn't know about the storm until my fan cut off. You know, I can't sleep without the fan. My fan cut off the morning the storm hit, and I woke up. I'm like, what's going on? And it was complete silence. Power loss. You heard strong winds. I think here in Spartanburg, the winds got up to 68 miles an hour. You heard literally, like, you could look out the window and see trees like blowing, like if you were, you know, at the beach or something. And these are strong, huge trees. Very soon after, you heard loud booms. And now we know later that those loud booms wasn't lightning and thunder. It was actually trees falling. We are extremely blessed. We truly are. In our neighborhood, literally trees fell on our immediate neighbors' homes on the right and left of us. Everyone's okay as far as in our neighborhood, health-wise, life-wise. There's tons of homes with trees on them or in them. The storm was absolutely crazy. But that's the update on us. Our family is whole. We are all together. We are all healthy. We are all alive. To address as far as preparedness, we want to hopefully put our story out there and be transparent with you guys. Anyone wanting to kind of venture down this path, as far as breeders or as far as home business owners, a lot of our business plan, because we've owned previous businesses, other businesses, a lot of business plans can kind of cross over and at least lay the groundwork for you to kind of go down uncharted territory. So the same thing kind of applies here. And I remember watching videos from Paul over at Spheric Reptiles, and he talks a lot about SWOT analysis. Audra talks a lot about SWOT analysis. She actually wanted to be on video to talk a little bit about it, but we tried 2 or 3 times. And she's just literally very, very emotional. She's reading her updates on Facebook of friends losing absolutely everything, losing homes. She's devastated. She's an emotional wreck. But she wanted to talk about SWOT analysis. I'll do the best that I can. SWOT analysis kind of applies to almost everything, business wise, organization wise, in life. And SWOT is SWOT. So it's going to be strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So when you formulate an organization or a business, you want to do that with all those things in mind. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Where are your opportunities where you can improve, get better? And what are the threats to your business? And this fits for this situation with Hurricane Helene. If you guys go back about a year ago, and again, guys, this is going to be, a two-part video, but if you go back about a year ago, we were trying to get out in front of some of those threats. In the past, before we've even started our business, we've experienced, power outage, anywhere from, 2 hours up until maybe max 6 hours. Typical power outage, maybe a light pole falls or whatever it is, you have service interruption. So being that we, are a home-based business and we grew our business to the size that it is now, we try to attack that obstacle, that threat with a solution, which would be quote unquote like an emergency plan. Under complete chaos, let's say for instance, total evacuation with the crested geckos, hopefully we never have to be in that situation. We know friends right now that are in that situation, but they are easier to be able to travel with. Making sure, guys, we breed these guys, we love these guys, and we are their means of life support, whether we're going through a event like a hurricane, or like anything at all, anything that's life threatening, anything where you have to evacuate your area, your home, your facility. Moving crested geckos are pretty easy. It's time consuming, because you would basically package up everything in deli cups as temporary, because it's easy to travel with, label everything, package everything up. We have very large totes that excuse me, guys, very large totes that we can travel with and can get everyone to safety. So that's a part of our emergency evacuation plan. We have literally deli cups, brand spanking new, sleeves and sleeves of deli cups to be able to package up everyone and bring them with us. We don't utilize any of that inventory in our day-to-day operations, which makes it easier to know that it's there when we need it. So we have literally a ton, probably a couple thousand deli cups on hand to be able to transport and get out of here if we need to. But again, that was not the case for Hurricane Helene. We were actually unaware that it was going to be that bad. We were unaware that it was hitting us at that time. So we need to be better prepared and know the weather, especially when things like that is hitting the area. But again, it's never hit this area like that. Audra actually has a relative that's, I believe, 83 years old, and he's doing amazing. And he said, he's never seen anything like that, and he's lived in this town his entire life. He's never seen anything like that in his lifetime. So it was quite devastating. It's still quite devastating. Even our neighbors were not prepared, which lets us go back down that route. So the emergency plan that had to be put in place for this issue was, we did a video, a review on our generator we had got. Sorry, guys. And the generator runs on propane and gas. We had a few hiccups at the beginning of the review on that video. We couldn't get it really running on propane, but it was running on gas. Wasn't that big of an issue. Moving forward, here it is now. We had to actually pull it out and utilize it. So after about an hour, 2 hours of no power and the storm getting worse, we jumped into action and went down and fired it up. Okay, once we fired it up, we ran extension cords and everything into the facility, and this is where we come into some of the information that may be helpful for you guys. Now, inside the facility, thanks to Audra and her drywalling skills, we insulated the facility really, really well. By having good insulation, it allows the outside temperatures, whether hot or cold, not to transfer to the interior of the facility at the vault easily. It takes longer and longer times, extended periods of time of extreme weather, whether hot or cold, with no, how do I say, counter energy inside, meaning mini splits, heat, whatever inside, to counter whatever it's trying to bring in, whether hot or cold. I'm a little scattered brain, guys, but trying to stay focused. Very, very tired, like I said before. Once we fired it up, we ran an extension cord inside and we plugged up the incubator. The temperature inside the vault was literally consistently 77 and 78 degrees. It didn't really, teeter one way or the other. We were blessed enough that the weather on the outside after the storm had kind of cleared, literally was anywhere between, I guess, 70 going up to 83 degrees outside. That's what the weather pretty much was the entire time we were without power. That was a blessing in a disguise, truly. Only other thing we had to combat was the humidity. Humidity started to rise. It was around 77 degrees. So inside the vault, we were able to plug in the incubators for the gecko eggs, as well as the dehumidifier. We were able to maintain and keep the humidity under control. And while it was 77 degrees, 78 degrees inside the vault, we still was able to maintain 68 degrees on our eggs, which is where we like to incubate at. So we did not miss a beat when it comes to that side of things on the logistics. Outside of that, the major issues we had, looking back, would be we need to install a fuse block plug on the opposite side of our fuse panel. That's a correction that needs to be put in place, where if the power goes out, we can power up the generator. We can literally plug in a 220 plug. A 220 plug is one of them big plugs that can handle a lot more power than our regular extension cords. And then you plug the opposite into your panel on the outside. Make sure your power is flipped off even though you don't have any power. That stops the back feed in case your power is restored at the same time that you're running your generator. But by doing that, we won't have to unplug anything. Everything inside the facility will run as normal. That is a major eye-opening situation, because if it was extremely hot or extremely cold, we probably would have been in trouble, because we have too many splits and they are hardwired directly into the fuse panel. So in theory, there's no easy way to hook them up to a generator without having it professionally done by an electrician. So we have that literally on our needs list. That will continue to be a threat for our SWOT analysis, for our business plan, and we will fix that immediately. Other than that, there's also another kind of quality of life threat when it comes to the crested geckos. Was we lost the ability to have our day and night light system. We have it on a timer where daytime hours it provides light whether we're down there or not, and at nighttime it provides darkness, so they can cycle, do their day night cycle. We feel that provides their more closer to their natural environment. I think everyone deserves to know whether it's, daytime or nighttime. So that's what we like to provide for them. But we think that's more of a quality of life issue, and we're still going to address that as well. Those were the two major issues that we had. The third major issue that we had across the board would be our generator reserve. So we ran it on gas. We did not have a problem with it. It worked without a hitch. We had one 5-gallon gas tank, and we had at first two 1-gallon gas tanks until I looked around the garage and found a third 1-gallon gas tank. So at any given time, we had approximately 8 gallons of fuel, but the entire area felt like the entire state was without power. Gas stations were without power. So that meant we were doing 4-hour gas runs to go get fuel. We were making sure that our vehicles were full every time we was able to get to a gas pump, and we were making sure all 8 gallons of those tanks were full. We were able to run the generator, which we didn't know. The 3.6 gallon tank reserve inside the generator lasted us 10 hours, which was amazing. We did not know that because we did not run it prior. Knowing what we know now, we're thankful. But if you were to get a generator, it is well worth the cost of essentially wasting gas to fill it up and run it and see when it shuts off on you, because that's how we found out that it lasted us 10 hours. After the first day of being in shock and getting it up and running, we didn't know whether, we're leaving out because we tried to go get fuel and everywhere close was either closed or, a chaotic line. People were arguing and fighting and everything to get fuel. It was literally a scene from, The Walking Dead. People were leaving their cars abandoned on the side of the road, running out of gas, literally all up and down the highway, all up and down the streets. It was insane. Everyone went, and even supermarkets were closed. They were breaking into places. It was some of everything. The 911 service number, you guys know that we are previous law enforcement. 911 went down, so people couldn't call 911. They had to call the non-emergency line. They started calling the non-emergency line, and then that line went down. So people didn't even have the means to be able to call 911 and say they needed help. There was a total at one point 51 people that died in South Carolina. And at that point, it was also 3 people in Spartanburg, our actual town and county where we live, that died. And those numbers have risen from there. A lot of other people have it a lot worse than we did. Please pray for them. This has been devastating. So that's definitely, the gas reserve is definitely also on our list as a threat, and we've already fixed that. We've ordered a couple of 15-gallon gas tanks to be able to store fuel. We probably won't store the fuel. We'll store probably 5 gallons or so, and then if we're facing an issue like that, we'll be able to kind of take all the tanks and fill them up one time. And in a situation like this, if we were able to fill up all those tanks, we would have enough fuel for over a week from one trip versus taking, literally trips every single day. That will put us in a more advantageous position to survive and even to thrive. We were able to plug up our refrigerator. We were able to get ice, make ice. We had filtered water. Again, we have a beautiful propane Blackstone grill top, but once propane goes and you don't have any more, everywhere was sold out. And the places that had some, they were still closed or being vandalized. So we actually had to revert to a charcoal grill, which we didn't own. And on one of our gas runs, we were out in Gastonia, and we saw one on display, and I said, that's coming with us. So I had to get that. They did allow me to buy it, thankfully enough, but it was coming with us. We had the entire family here, so we started cooking on the grill. We even, at a couple of the gas stations we went to, grabbed up all the roller dogs that I found on the roller racks, and we were heating that up. We had food, but again, we wanted to make sure that at that time I was able to get instant food and try to not break the norm for the kids especially. So for them, they didn't suffer at all. We had an extension cord in there, like I said, to the refrigerator. They were able to get their water. They were able to get ice. We did lose central air, but they were able to charge. We were able to charge our MacBooks, phones, all our iPads, all our electronics. Only bad thing is cell phone service went down too. So I guess the towers lost power as well. So service was extremely sketchy and spotty. But overall, like I said, our complaints as far as with the storm, I mean, it doesn't hold a candle to what a lot of our friends are currently going through. Currently right now and still going through. But those are some of the corrections that we're going to be making moving forward. Is going to be the gas reserve, which is already fixed. It's going to be the panel plug, direct panel plug for our generator. We're actually going to get an additional generator because it would have truly sucked to go out there and, you know, run the generator and it doesn't turn on for you when you're in your time of need, or let alone it goes down on you and it doesn't work or it stops working. That will be catastrophic for us, for our infrastructure. So we need to also get a backup generator. So that's definitely going to be going into the business plan, and we're going to be acting on all of these things immediately. We're also going to get more extension cords, more heavy duty extension cords, more so like the backup for the backup, trying to cross our T's and dot our I's. But that's pretty much the gist of it. We are doing absolutely fine. We are recovering quite well. We were able to help our neighbors. They were without anything at all. We were able to take them bottled water and a cooler because we were already generating ice and able to produce our own water. We never lost water here at the house. While they lost their refrigerator, they lost everything as far as power. They weren't able to power anything, and a tree fell on their home. So, you know, you have to help thy neighbor. That's pretty much it. This is an extremely long video. I think it's very helpful for anyone looking to have a home-based business, even if it's not reptiles. But if it is, this is having a generator is game changing. And to speak on that, people were trying to buy generators. You could name your price for a generator during this event. Everywhere was sold out. If they had a generator for $2,000, $1,500, they were sold out. No one could get a generator. And it's like that all the time. When you absolutely need something, people are going to flock. They're going to put it on credit cards. You're going to buy what you absolutely need every single time if you have the means. But again, this is part one. I'm going to kind of try to roll into part two. Like I said, we recorded these videos already, but they didn't come out too well. Audra was just crying. But we are doing fine, and it's our anniversary as well. So today is our anniversary, guys. We appreciate you guys checking up on us. We are doing absolutely fine, but please continue to pray for our friends who are still going through it. Going to drop a part two, more directed toward the ball python side of that business. Go over to Flawless Exotic Creations and check that out. It should be dropping around 3 o'clock. It's going to be a slightly different information, but telling you what we had to do to keep everything there in line as well. Anyway, it's Will, Flawless Crested Geckos. We love you guys, and we out.